let's waste no time, dude. Let's get into it. We got us a mock draft to hit. I'm excited about it. 4 rounds, 3 picks for us. Obviously, no trading back, no trading up, none of that. We're going to kind of see how the board falls for the Packers, and we'll dive right into it. So you guys in the chat, let us know if you've got favorites when we get ready to pick here. I'm going to be having the PTA big board in the background here, Jacob. We're using the mock draft database for this one. So if you have any questions on prospects, I'm going to let you kind of run it from a sense of, all right, we'll take whoever you think, because everybody's probably tired of my opinion here, but I will give you where they rank on our board, if that makes sense. So let's jump into it, man. Let's go get this thing started. We'll go turbo speed, turbo time. Here we go. January 31st PTA mock draft. And let's go ahead and crank this thing up. Hopefully I don't screw anything up using this new system here. Obviously, we're used to using PFF here recently when it comes to the mock draft. So we are got us a huge, this is why we ignore this stuff. Tampa Bay saying, hey, for your 52nd overall pick, we'll give you a 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and a 4th rounder next year. That's just so stupid. All right. So best available, Jacob, as we're picking here at 52 in the 2nd round.
Can I tell you already who I this is the guy I want?
Yeah, let's hear it, man.
Mr. Jennings Dunker.
Man, he is a fan favorite this year. And you know what? We haven't had an opportunity to draft him at 52 using the PFF draft database. Now, the reason that we like to use different websites and things is because of this, right? Sometimes you get so locked into one and you think, okay, that's how the draft is most likely going to fall. None of them know how it's going to fall. But if you just key in on one website, you end up kind of pigeonholing yourself into a corner where you can't really see exactly how the draft may truly fall. That's about as close as I can get it zoomed in there, guys. I apologize. But on the board, this would be a slam dunk pick for us, Jacob. Jennings Dunker is 21 on our PTA big board. All right. Wow. We've got a 25.8 grade on. This would be great freaking value in terms of picking here at 52. Now, when we look at McNeil Warren, obviously we don't need a safety. We wouldn't take a safety in that spot. He's in the 19 spot, so he's actually a higher prospect on our board as well. You got Lee Hunter, defensive tackle there for Texas Tech. He's kind of a fan favorite right now. He's sitting at 52. And then you've got Dylan Thyman, obviously another center. And then you got the corners rolling in. This is a slam dunk pick for me, man. You see D'Angelo Pons down there. If some people are going, no, we need a cornerback. I understand that. D'Angelo Pons is in the 41 spot. Wouldn't be a bad pick here, according to our board. But, man, Jennings Dunker, this is a slam dunk. And I know there's some people saying this ain't realistic. He won't be there. Well, according to our board, and we put all the information in early, PFF Big Board has him at 44. The Consensus Big Board has him at 34. However, Daniel Jeremiah did not have him in his top 50. So Daniel Jeremiah seems to think that he's outside of the top 50. There's a chance this could happen, right? So, yeah. Not so cool. Yes, says haven't seen Jennings Dunker highlights yet. Hey, man, go watch the Senior Bowl stuff. If you're in our Patreon group, we've got a profile put together. You can click on that prospect report. It's right there for you guys to get to. And I think we got some clips down there that people had recorded from their phone at the Senior Bowl. So make sure you check that out.
Can I tell you the highlight the only one that I care about?
Yeah.
He's doing an interview. I don't remember with exactly who, but they're asking him like what's your workout? What's your diet? He starts talking about this many protein bars. I eat this protein drink. I have like 36 ounces of coffee like before I even get on the bus. And then he goes, I fill it up with Culver's. And the guy next to him goes, Culver's. And
What's
goes,
Culver's?
What's that? What's Culver's? And he goes, you don't know Culver's? And the guy is like, I'm from the Northeast. And the other guy that's next to him, he goes, well, I'm from Minnesota. He's like, I know what Culver's is. He goes, all right, boy, you got to get into Culver's. And by the way, this guy has a flowing Kentucky waterfall mullet that is just beautiful. And he's jacked. And honestly, if you do want to see some like actual footage, he's standing these boys up. Like he is absolutely looks like he's a brick crap house. And honestly, we've talked about how we don't want to draft offensive tackles and kick them inside. I really do feel like this is one of those that you can just put him anywhere. He just is a stud. I think he's like 6'5" ish, 315, that type of guy. To me, it sounds like a match made in heaven, dude.
Yeah. And when it comes to the Iowa Hawkeye offensive lineman that everybody's in love with. Obviously, there's a lot of Packer fans that live in Iowa, and they kind of cross-check their, being Hawkeye fans. When you look at this, Jennings Dunker is 38 on the consensus big board, according to this right now, right? At least their draft board while we're doing a live draft. Then you go to interior offensive line. Next on the list is Logan Jones. All right, he's a center, and then you got Bo Stevens, their guard, right? So in that order, right? Well, Logan Jones is actually lower on our board than Bo Stevens. So I would be okay with all three of these guys at the right pick, of course. But this is a slam dunk here. Offensive tackle. We're going to go Jennings Dunker with the 52nd overall pick.
Dunker? Hardly knew her.
So Jennings Dunker is the first pick. And look, here we get the Detroit Lions. They're selling the farm too. They said, give us your third. We'll give you a fifth, a sixth, a fourth next year, 2-6 next year. Actually, 3-6 next year.
Very realistic. Yeah,
very realistic. So we got Chris the trucker in the house says, finally caught alive. Any old lineman from Iowa, I'm in. Iowa is a old lineman factory. Appreciate you tuning in. Appreciate you getting out there, trucking, keeping this country going as well there, Bob. Appreciate that. All right. Next pick, Jacob. 84. Pick 84. We already took offensive tackle. Doesn't mean we can't go offensive line again, but let's see who the top available prospects are as it sits right now. You've got Isaiah World, offensive tackle from Oregon, Omar Cooper Jr., wide receiver from Indiana, Malik Muhammad, cornerback from Texas, Kamari Ramsey, safety from USC, and Josiah Trotter, linebacker from Missouri. Now, obviously, offensive line could still be a sneaky need. Look who's at the top.
I was going to say, man, if I had to pick, I know it's not going to be a sexy pick. I'm going Jake Slaughter. I am.
Dude, you're literally getting, according to our board, right? And again, I'm not saying our board is better than anybody else's. We just got, what was it, the 25th pick? What was it that Jennings Dunker is ranked at? 21. So you would have gotten 21, right? And then with Jake Slaughter, you're getting the 48th best prospect on our board if you go that route. So we'll kind of comb through here and see who else is available. Obviously, people are going to think you need corners as well. 3-tech can be important as well, right? So let's look at defensive linemen. You got Tim Key. You see how it drops off so quick, Jacob? Like we're already in the 120s. If you don't take a defensive tackle with the 52nd pick, you're not getting one till the hundreds, essentially, or you're going to reach. And here's what's crazy. When you pick at 52, you're not looking up going, oh, this is a good quality pick at defensive tackle here. It's a little bit of a reach there as well. So this kind of feels like cornerback was last year for us. It just didn't line up with the board where the Packers were picking. So let's look at corners real quick. Malik Muhammad, that's the suggested pick here. Cornerback out of Texas. I'm going to go through and check these real quick.
All right. Chandler Rivers would be one that I'd maybe be interested in at cornerback, but it's like, I just feel like that our biggest need is to absolutely just bolster that offensive line. Like it just, to me, that was the biggest glaring need for this whole season was keeping Jordan Love clean so he can make his reads. And then we have to keep in mind that I think that most likely we're going to lose Rasheed Walker. I think that most likely Elton Jenkins is maybe going to take another step down, if not get cut. I think that Sean Ryan isn't the answer. I don't think that Belton has shown that what he can do. And honestly, Morgan we haven't put him in there and put his foot to the fire. So it's like, if this offensive line isn't shining, we're going to be in trouble. And Jordan Love's going to be in trouble, which means Matt LaFleur is going to be in trouble, which means the front office is going to be in trouble. So everything kind of snowballs from that point. So in years past, what I love about this podcast and what we've done is that, we used to, I don't want to say like casual fans, whatever, that sounds very offensive, but it's like, think about it as a GM and think about it from building from the ground up. There just has to be a certain type of, we talked about it last year. We lost in the trenches. What we do this year, we lost in the trenches. It just feels like that we need to absolutely have ourselves some dogs in there, some road graders, man. I mean, we got our wide receiver room. Even if we lose a few of them, I think we're good. Tight end room, we're good. Running back room, I'd argue we're okay. On the defensive side of the ball, I think definitely D-line needs to be addressed, especially the interior defensive line, but I'm cool with the edge. I'm all right with the linebacker room. I'm definitely cool with the safeties. Cornerback is definitely a need. So, but what do we talk about as far as being like a number one type of thing? It's I don't want to put words in your mouth, Clayton, but definitely you say 3-tech, center, obviously quarterback, but like
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like that we need to find some sort of continuity where let's go back to the Packers of old when you knew for a fact that we had a great offensive line, you know?
Right. Right. No, I completely agree. And again, that's the games are won and lost in the up front on both offense and defense. Now, cornerback is a need, we've seen it. I just don't think it's as much of a need as offensive line. Now, when you look at the cornerbacks, according to our PTA big board, the best available here, if we just go corners, Muhammad's in the 200s. Okay. Bad pick there, according to our board. We've got Keontae Scott from Miami. He is 50th on our big board. You've got Chandler Rivers is 78th on our big board. And then Jake Slaughter, the center, is at 48. So what it comes down to essentially is you've got Scott and Slaughter in the same tier. So this is where what you do in free agency will probably be the determining factor on whether or not you would go Jake Slaughter here or go with someone like Keontae Scott at corner.
Yeah.
With that being said, and just hold that, Jacob. We'll do that here in a minute at the end. Yeah. We're going to hit the super chats as we wrap up the segment, guys. Appreciate everybody. Get those in and we'll make sure we hit them, I promise. So what you got to ask yourself is, okay, did you go out and get Tyler Linderbaum? If he wasn't on the market, did you get someone else? Did you decide to restructure Elton Jenkins and bring him back as your starting center? If that's the case, and then you do draft Jennings Dunker like we did with that first pick and kick him inside or wherever you may think he can play, your offensive line's in a lot better shape. You feel good about taking Keontae Scott here. So that's really what it comes down to. If we stuck to the board, it would be Jake Slaughter right here. So we went back-to-back O-line. But if you went corner, it would be Keontae Scott. Which would you rather do, Jacob? Which scenario do you think is more realistic? Because for me, I would love to get Tyler Linderbaum, but we're not the only team that's going to be bidding on him. And we don't even know if the Baltimore Ravens are going to let him out of the building.
They shouldn't if they're smart. I think it kind of coincides with Walt Montiel's chat here. He goes, the starting O-line will be Morgan, Banks, Monk, hopefully Ryan at right guard, Belton, and Tom. O-line is a need, but so is cornerback. Do you feel comfortable with the line that we just listed there? Morgan, Banks, Monk, hopefully Ryan, Belton, and Tom. I don't feel comfortable with that,
Not at all.
to be honest. Like that to me sounds like a massive liability.
Jacob Monk has shown a little flash. I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up being a great center.
I want it to be. Yeah,
absolutely. But if you go into the season banking on that and he flops, you're screwed. We're right back to square one again going, well, crap. Your offensive line got significantly younger, right? And we're talking about, hey, can we add a little age on this thing, right? So let me go ahead and hit this super since you pulled the other chat up. I've been trying to hold them until the end. He's Mike Z with the super. Thank you so much, Mike. Clayton, I agree with you. Corners are a need when you don't have pass rush. Can't expect them to cover for 10 seconds. O-line, D-line priority. Yeah, exactly. And again, the board just doesn't line up right now, right, Mike? That's the problem with defensive line. So, Jacob, I'm going to say for the sake of being a little more versatile here, we went and got Jennings Dunker. Let's assume we're either going to keep Elton Jenkins at a restructured rate or we're going to go and get a free agent center. Let's go cornerback here with Keontae Scott. Do you disagree?
No, you do it. Yeah, I'd be fine with either. It's just I think that, I just love the big hog mollies. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. All right, let's go Keontae Scott here. And you guys know Jake Slaughter is my draft crush. Love it. I think let's just kind of change it up here and go with the corner. If these were more than 2 spots apart, I'd be like, no, like if it was 5 spots apart, I'd go, let's just get Slaughter. But you're talking about guys in the same tier. Let's go Keontae Scott here from Miami cornerback. So that gives us a little bit of cornerback help there in the 3rd round. So now we have gone offensive tackle and we went cornerback, and the cornerback obviously was 50th on our board. So what's cool is at 52, we get the 21st best prospect. At 84, we get the 50th best prospect, according to our board. So this is what Goody talks about. They said they always feel like they feel real confident they can get top 50 prospects in the first 3 rounds. Like they can get their first 3 round picks or in their top 50 of prospects. So everybody's board is different, obviously. All right, let's go back to all here. Now we are at pick 120. This is where it gets really, really interesting. Top picks here. Nick Singleton, running back out of Penn State. Davison Igbinosun, cornerback out of Ohio State. Safety, Jalen Kilgore. Interior offensive lineman from Bama, Parker Brailsford. And then cornerback, Devin Moore from Florida. So, again, what are our needs? We could go get another offensive lineman. We need as much depth as possible. I could see cornerback still being a sneaky need. But also linebacker. What if Quay Walker walks in free agent, right? That's something that you're going to have to think about. If you go to linebacker real quick, Harold Perkins out of LSU, Jashawn Barham, linebacker out of Michigan. You've got Lander Barton. Lander, I hardly know her. Linebacker out of Utah. Aiden Fisher, linebacker out of Indiana. None of those really flash to me. So if we go back to interior offensive line, there's your boy Keelan Rutledge. There's Bo Stevens as well. So what I'm noticing, Jacob, is if you can get a stud offensive lineman at 52 that you feel confident with, and you can come back and get a cornerback with your third-round pick, you can wrap back around and get an interior offensive lineman in the fourth round and feel really good about this draft. You know what I'm saying?
What do you think about, is Tim Keenan the third round or no?
Let's see if he's still there. He looks like he was taken. Remember, he was available last pick, but he did go already.
He was? Okay.
You're talking about the defensive tackle, correct?
Correct. Yep.
Yeah, he's already off the board. He was the best available when we picked last time in terms of defensive tackle. So, and again, mock draft database is saying take a defensive lineman here. Let's see if we can make sense of it. If you want to list off a couple guys that you like, I'm going to go through and
Xavier Harris was one that kind of popped a little for me.
Mm-hmm. All right, so Gil Howard here, who is the top choice, he is currently 121 on our board. Okay, I'm just going to jot these down. You got Xavier Harris, obviously.
That's the one I said, yeah.
So that's your guy you said?
Not my guy, but just one that kind of just interested to see how he lines up with our board.
Yeah, he is 195 on our big board. Okay, so that would
that'd be a little bit of reach, yeah.
Yeah, let's check out Zane Durant real quick. Zane Durant is 334. Wow, Oof. So no, not even in the ballpark.
I don't know if you got him, but is Bo Stevens? I hate to say it again for all.
No, it makes. That's what I was just talking about. It makes a lot of sense. Bo
Stevens is there. I'm just saying, man.
Yeah, now let's look at how the interior offensive line shake out. Now we got Stevens. You write him down, and I try to take notes and keep these notes so we can remember how these exercises went. I think it's important to kind of understand how everything's fallen. Yep. He's 77 on our board, so that'd be great value for Bo Stevens. And then Keelan Rutledge we're high on too, but I'm pretty sure Bo Stevens is actually higher than him, which is wild because obviously you look at the board here and it suggests something else. Rutledge, if I can find it.
Is that the Georgia Tech board?
Yeah, Keelan Rutledge is 80, so it's close. That would be one you might consider a cluster buster, right? You might go that route and try to pick between the two. We won't do it right now for time's sake. Let me just check for Brailsford real quick because that's a name that keeps popping up, but I don't think we're high on. Yeah, we got him at 120. So this is real simple. If you're going to go interior offensive line, it's between Keelan Rutledge and Bo Stevens. Both are in the same ballpark, although Stevens is a few spots higher, 3 spots higher on our board. So if you had to choose between those two, Jacob, if we narrowed it down to Keelan Rutledge and Bo Stevens, who would the pick be? Who would you want there?
I mean, Bo would be playing with his brother, right? Or not his brother, but like his brother in arms, another Iowa boy.
Two Iowa guys, and we'll get raked over the coals for that, just drafting a bunch of Iowa guys. But again, we're explaining why this is how the board is falling. Like this is a realistic scenario. It really is. Yeah. And you see, our boy Jones is already gone, right? Logan Jones is already gone.
And then just to be clear, is Rodriguez a linebacker? Jacob Rodriguez, is he gone?
I think he's already gone. Now, on PFF's mock drafts, he's hanging around right here, and that would be a slam dunk pick. I
like that guy too, dude. Awesome. Like I said, I just started kind of diving into the prospects. I start, whatever reason, I like that guy. It's like when you're a little kid, you know what I mean? Like I like his name, or he has the first name that I have. Okay, so I'm like, I like him a lot. He's a good guy,
Exactly. Offensive tackle, just looking here, nothing really grabs your attention there. Yeah. So to me, it's a slam dunk, man. It's between Slaughter and Rutledge. In this case, Rutledge on the consensus big board is significantly higher than Bo Stevens. So I'm good with either one, Jacob. Are you okay with Keelan Rutledge?
Stevens or Rutledge, you said?
Yeah, Rutledge on the consensus big board is at 106. Bo Stevens is 129. On our board, we got Stevens 77, Rutledge 80. So if you kind of took both of those things into consideration, because we're using this database here, you take both those consideration, you think, okay, you probably lean toward Rutledge over Stevens, although Stevens is higher on our board. On draft night, I would be saying Bo Stevens, but using the mock draft database, obviously they're saying there's more value in Keelan Rutledge.
As much I think I still go both.
I like it. All right, let's do it. Let's go Bo Stevens.
And then we're done. You know what I mean? Like then we don't have to worry about offensive line, at least in my opinion, but
no, yeah. I mean, you go out and you get two solid offensive linemen. So we're going to go Bo Stevens. That is interior offensive lineman out of Iowa. Now, again, they're going to show that as a reach, right? And the reason they're going to show it as a reach is because they had other interior offensive linemen, Rutledge, significantly higher, like 20 spots higher. So that's why we got a C there. If we'd taken Rutledge and just played to the mock draft database, we got an A+, but it's not about that. It's about our board, right? And taking everything into consideration. So there you go. You went with this mock draft. And again, we got Bo Stevens at 120, right? What's crazy is we got him at 120, and he was the 80th best prospect on our board. So you picked up 40 more points of value there. So you got offensive tackle Jennings Dunker at 52. He was 21 on our board. You got Keontae Scott, cornerback out of Miami, at 84. He was 50 on our board. And then interior offensive lineman Bo Stevens at 120. He was 80 on our board. I would be over the freaking moon with these first 3 picks for the Packers draft. No doubt about it. So,
yeah. Yep.
All right. So there you go. There is your 4-round mock draft, 3 picks for the Packers. If you guys are watching this video back later, let us know in the comments. How do you feel about that draft? Again, Jennings Dunker at 52, Keontae Scott at 84, Bo Stevens at 120. Let us know in the comments. Make sure you hit like, subscribe, click the bell icon so you don't miss out on all other content coming down the pike.